I do this because I care. Thank you. And I want you guys, you hear those words in my messages and in my emails, but I want you to feel that too. I genuinely care about you guys and your kids, okay? A couple admin items. If you don't already have it, if you're new to our club, please install Team Snap. As the season starts, it will be our primary means of communication with all of you. Eventually, when rosters were formed in the fall, and then teams will carry over, but your team's rosters, for those of you that are new, your son or daughter's team roster will be in here. Your match schedule will be loaded in here by your team's coach. So you will absolutely want to have this, and then all club communication once we start the season will be done via this application, so you absolutely want to make sure you have it installed on your phone. You will get an email invitation once your son or daughter has been rostered to a team, inviting you to join, but until you install this, you won't be able to join that team. Got Sport registration tool, which obviously if you're here, you know about it and you've used it. If you haven't already, please give us a follow on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Facebook's probably where we have the most activity. But you're gonna get all kinds of updates there, like weather alerts, field closures, things we're doing in the community. We're really good. Nick's gotten really good about making sure social media is on point. So if you want to know what's going on sometimes and you're not reading my emails, check out our social media pages. Key dates. Registration and uniform shop closes on Wednesday. So if you've not registered your son or daughter, you have till Wednesday. If you've not ordered their uniform, you have until Wednesday, okay? Please make sure you get that done. Next Saturday is Noblesville United's work day. If you're available next Saturday, please come out and help us get the fields ready, the facility ready for the start of the spring season. Right now, the weather's looking kind of gross. Hopefully that changes, but we'd love to have you out here. And if you come out, we keep track, we have you register. Everybody that comes out and helps, we give you $25 back off the cost of your child's registration. Right? We refund that volunteer fee. Okay. That following first week of practice, yeah, Nick.
And Damos is donating.
Oh, I keep forgetting that. So if you come out that day, we'll feed you too. Damos, I say catering, but Domino's is going to be feeding us that day. So we'll have food and drinks in the concession, pizza to fill your bellies. So please come out. Consider coming out and helping us. I actually have in that box. There's a sheet with a QR code on it for them to register to do that. If you want to work next Saturday at field day, there's a QR code we'll have back there at the table. You can scan it on your phone, and that will allow you to register for the work day.
Can kids help too?
Kids can come with, absolutely, because there's tons of twigs and sticks and trash that has to be picked up everywhere, and it's great for them to get involved and to help. So great question, Casey. First week of practices is April 10th. You'll find out your kid's schedule, and it'll be in the Team Snap app. So they'll practice one night a week unless they're RecPlus. There'll be 2 practices a week. The second week of the season will be picture week. Oh, I'm sorry, April 15th and 16th are the first games. Match games start that weekend. That's for Rec and RecPlus. First team pictures are the second week of the season, so April 17th. Whatever night your son or daughter practices on, that night will be their team photos. So you'll want to make sure they come to practice that night wearing their uniform. Because we'll practice, we'll have our team photos, individual photos, then we'll go back to practice and be done. So a little different this year. The spring season is always crazy with the weather and the RecPlus tournament, and we got all these tournaments we have to worry about. So this year for the spring season, so that you guys can go on your summer break and not have to worry about sticking around if your kid's in rec ball, but then also still enjoy race day and that Monday holiday. We're going to have the rec tournament. Rounds 1 will be a Thursday evening. Rounds 2 will be a Friday evening. Rounds 3, which is the semis, will be Saturday day. And then Saturday afternoon, evening will be the U10 and U12 rec championship matches. And then the rest of the weekend is for you guys to do. Yeah. So a question I like to ask all the time of our coaches, my players, our families: why are we here? Why are we doing this? What is your why? Okay. I don't mean to put anybody on the spot here, but I'm looking right at Kylie.
Why?
Well, you said it. What is your why? I'll tell you, I'm transparent. My why is these kids. I've been coaching out here for years. It's a blessing to get to teach the game of soccer, but just helping these young men and women develop into good people, right? people that care about one another, that respect their community, that want to do things for their community. That's my why, helping these young men and women. So be thinking about that, why you're out here. What is your why? This is our club's mission statement. I will highlight the core values that are within it, and I will go over those on the next slide. But we have 5 core values that we adhere to here at Noblesville United. They are community, integrity, leadership, respect, and service. So we just had our coaches meeting and we talked about this, but we want to make sure that these young men and women, yes, they're learning the technical and the tactical aspects of soccer, but we want them to learn about life lessons, things that are important about the quality of the life they're living and the things they're doing. So we want to teach them about the value of community, how important it is to be honest, integrity, which is a really big one for me, right? Our core values, as I mentioned them, they're community, integrity, leadership, respect, and service. In all of these areas, we as a club have been building to do things in service or to show that, yes, these are more than just things written down on a sheet of paper or in a presentation. We're actually going to start engaging and doing things for our community so that we can be not just heard but seen as well, okay? This next slide, I would actually like to do, so every season, actually let me take a step back. Years ago, there was a young man that played for Noblesville United. From my understanding, he was a fantastic player, but more than that, he was a phenomenal person, right? Sizemore, right? That young man's life was cut short, but in honor of him, every year for the last several years, Noblesville United has had an award in his name given to a young man and a young woman who exhibited qualities similar to Steven's. They cared about soccer, yes, and they were good at it, right? But they cared about their teammates, their friendships. They exhibited leadership qualities. All the things we hope for our own sons and daughters, right? Soccer's great and it's important to be good at it, but more importantly, exude the qualities that Steven did. So after every season, we accept nominations from families, parents, coaches for Steven Sizemore Award winners. And so last year every year we do one young man and one young lady who these awards are given to. And this last season, there was a young man named Michael Bertall, who coincidentally can't be here with us today, but he sent me a little letter that I will read in just a moment, his acceptance. But then there was another fantastic young lady.
You made me cry.
Sorry, dude. It's his daughter. So I know she'll be a little shy about this, but Elizabeth, Ellie, would you mind coming up for a second? Elizabeth Hilbert.
You want to go one slide? Go one slide. Get the
Yep.
pictures up.
She was the recipient of this past season's Steven Sizemore Award. And so we asked her to come here because as someone of true character, it's nice to be acknowledged, right? Not just for your athleticism abilities, but who you are as a person. So we asked Ellie to come out, accept this award in front of you guys, and just say something to you about what the award means to her. So.
Take a quick picture, please.
Oh, sorry. Tippy toes.
Congratulations.
Talking to the mic. Hold your mouth.
Sorry. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I like to be a good person, I guess. It's nice that it's recognized. I really like Noblesville United. There's a great community. I made so many friends, had a lot of good memories. It's really nice that it's just like rec, so I can still do other fun stuff, but yeah.
Do you want to say anything else?
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
There you go, Jenna. You guys.
Thank you, Ellie. And I mentioned the young man, Michael Bertall. He couldn't be here today. He's actually in Arizona, so we should be jealous right now, right? But I would like to read what he sent into the club to express his appreciation. I'm deeply honored and grateful to be the recipient of the Stephen Sizemore Mental Attitude Award. I would like to thank the Sizemore family for establishing this award to recognize players who exemplify the qualities that Stephen embodied. Stephen's story for consistent hard work, dedication, and encouragement of good sportsmanship is a true inspiration. I am grateful to have been recognized to display these same qualities. I would like to thank my coaches and my teammates for their support and for pushing me to be the best player and person I could be. I will continue to carry Stephen's mentality and legacy with me on and off the field and strive to be a positive influence for those around me. Thank you again for this incredible honor. Thank you, Michael Bertall. So yeah. And he was really good at soccer. Ellie's really good at soccer too, by the way. But Michael, some of the best young soccer players that I personally got to see play in this club. So truly an honor. And congrats, Ellie. Proud of you, kiddo. Okay, so things are changing, right? You guys have seen a lot of the old varsity yellow, black and white, and whatnot. And within the last year, we as a board decided that, hey, things are starting to feel really good. We're changing things infrastructurally. We want to go a new direction with the club and, frankly, rebrand, right? That's kind of part of what the relaunch is. So a year ago in one of my newsletters, I emailed everybody and said, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm your club's new program director. We really would like to get the club more involved, our families more involved. What can you do to help us out? Well, a lot of people would say, hey, I'm good at this, or, I'm good at this. And a lot of it was like that, like physical, get out there, get dirty at the fields kind of work thing. But there was one young lady, I can call you young lady, right?
What?
Yeah? Who
Not that
reached
young.
out and said, hey, Rudy, I'm 8 months pregnant and I can't do these things, but I'm really good at this. And so I would like to help the club out in this way. So I said, this is awesome. Let's start having this conversation. What can we do? Let's work together on this. And just within a couple emails, I was just like, wow, this is incredible. The work that this young lady is doing. And this is absolutely what I envisioned, what we envisioned for the future of the club. So what I would like to do is introduce you guys. You've seen the new brand, the new logo, the signage that's going up, everything that's being rebranded on our swag. I'd like to introduce you to the lady responsible, the vision behind Noblesville United's new logo and brand, Miss Casey Harwood.
I probably knew that. Yeah.
Just a second. All right, and I will have that slide before you.
Can you hear me? I'm soft-spoken, so this will help. Yeah, like Brent said, I'm Rudy. I'm not sure what to call him. I'm Rudy, okay. Like I said, I'm a brand designer. I work at a creative agency called JDA Worldwide. But I was pregnant at the time when they were asking for volunteers, and so let them know that I was available to work on any kind of design or marketing things. And was really excited when he said, why don't we think about a new logo? So really wanted to make something that was a little bit more unique and special for Noblesville and for Noblesville United specifically. The old logo was fine. It worked for a lot of years, but it's a little generic and has a lot of empty space in it. So thinking through what does United mean and how can you represent United? And that's kind of a hard concept to represent. It's not like we're the Noblesville Lions or the Noblesville Stars or anything. So I started thinking about the railroad tracks and how that's a really core symbol of Noblesville and also kind of unites communities. So showed a couple different logo options to Rudy and kind of showed the board, and they had different ways of showing railroad tracks, but this direction that they decided on, I think, did the parents vote last year?
Yep.
Parents voted. I had a new baby in the fall, so we skipped fall soccer. But we've got this new logo that you can see. So the black stripes at the top are kind of the representing of the railroad tracks in Noblesville. We kept the shield shape so that it's a strong symbol, but it also ties back to the original logo, the legacy of the club. We got the 3 stars up at the top, which represents the player and the coaches and the parents and their partnership. And then we updated the colors to align with Noblesville schools in the gold and black instead of moving away from that really bright yellow. Yeah.
So thank you. Thank
And
you.
I think they really like it. I think
Yeah,
We-
it's awesome. We love it.
We love it.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Casey. Yeah, have a good day. So we've spent the last year transitioning as a club, never forgetting who we are, where we came from, but we've got all kinds of positive momentum going, right? We felt really good for this last year, and now we're looking forward to, frankly, looking good, right? Giving something back that says, hey, I love wearing this symbol on my chest or my sleeve, and I'm proud to wear it in and around the community at the local Miller events. Just to try to engage you guys a little bit, some spectator scenarios. Feel free to shout out answers. While watching your son or daughter's soccer match, you notice your kid isn't performing at a particular skill to your liking. What do you do? Let me hear it. What are you going to do? Be honest. Be honest. I'll tell you what you guys are going to do. Do I need to? Okay, I will. Fine. Yeah, you're going to yell, right? You guys are going to start doing my job, right? You're going to start coaching your kids from the sideline. Don't do that. I know. I get it. I coach all 3 of my kids, and it's hard. It really is, right? But it makes it super tough on the coaches who are trying to explain things, technical things, tactical things to your sons or daughter. And if they're running up the field like this, and dad's right there, what are you doing? Well, coach just told me to do this. And I've seen kids do this, mom, coach, dad, right? It gets confusing for them, right? Hustle is fine. Great job. Fine. But don't be like, use your laces. Let me say that, right? So let the coaches coach. That's what I put. Let the coaches coach. Perhaps some of you have been there before, but if not, imagine as a kid, you've got a coach in one ear instructing you to do something, and mom or dad in the other ear from the sideline asking you to do another. Yell positive, encouraging things, hustle, or, bad luck, whatever. But if it comes to coaching, the technical and things, let coach do that. Or, better yet, let them figure it out. What better way do we learn than from our own mistakes? Right? Can I get it right? Thank you. Amen. It's okay to cheer for your kid or encourage them to work hard or hustle, but try to refrain from what I like to refer to as joystick coaching, right? Do this, go there, right? You're joystick coaching. That's not good. Have fun, right? There's a couple teams I love reffing their matches. Their parents are just fantastic. And it sounds crazy because these are 12-year-old boys, but at the end of every match, they do this parent tunnel thing, and the boys all run through it, and you would think 12-year-old boys would be too cool for that? No, they love it. So just be fun. So last year, the last couple seasons, we've sent out surveys and polls to families like, hey, what do we need to work on? What are some key areas that we need to focus on to improve on, right? And one of the biggest things, frankly, is just quality of coaching. Now, to be fair, all of our coaches are volunteers, and less than half of them played soccer before, let alone coached soccer before, right? So a lot of these moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, or honestly, there are people in our community that have 0 family ties to the club. They're like, hey, I saw you need a boys U8 coach. I'll go coach. They have no ties to the club whatsoever. They've never played or coached soccer before in their lives, right? This is all very new to them. So families became concerned, hey, the quality of coaching, we need to step it up, right? We do have some fantastic coaches, don't get me wrong. We really do. Coaches that have been around and invested in the club for years. But we heard you guys, right? And we realized, okay, even if it's a first-year coach, what are some things we can do to start investing in our coaches so that the quality of coaching overall continues to get better? So we developed things for coaches. We called it the Coach Incentivization Plan, right? And we went over this with them in their meeting before. Basically, every coach that coaches at Noblesville United absolutely has to have what we'll call Tier 1 on this done. They have to have their background check. They have to complete a safe sport training session and a heads up training session, which is like for concussion protocol and all that, right? So they automatically have to do that. But again, to get sticky coaches to less turnover, we thought we got to go beyond that. What are some things beyond that we can do to keep our coaches around longer, to want to coach, right? So this tiered plan, we're going to start offering them incentives back. Most coaches, like I said, they will coach because their kids are playing. So what we'll do is we'll incentivize that for them by saying, okay, you complete tier 1, which you have to do anyway. We're going to give you $25 back off the cost of your son or daughter's registration. If they complete tier 2, which is participate in one of our evaluations, a camp or a clinic or whatnot, we're going to give them another $25. So we're up to $50 back off the cost of their registration. If they take a grassroots soccer course, which is something last year we as a club decided to go all out on and holistically come at it from a U.S. grassroots soccer type thing, curriculum, we are going to not only pay for them to take that course, which is a $25 fee, we're going to give them another $25 back. So the idea here is, even for the new coaches, have them take those training sessions, get grassroots certified, whether it's 4v4, 7v7, 99, 11v11, so that we can say to you as parents, hey, just so you know, your daughter's coach just got 7v7 grassroots certified, okay? That's something that no other club locally does, unless they're a travel organization, but then those coaches, they're being paid tens of thousands of dollars and they already have those licenses anyway. We're a rec club, but we still want to develop really quality coaches for these kids. If they want to go a step beyond that, their D license, that's basically one step away from being able to be a professional coach. They can get their grassroots D license. We'll pay for them to get that course. Now, it's very time consuming. Coach Eric here, he just completed that course. And Eric, how long was that?
It's like 75 hours worth of training.
Right?
Every Monday night from November to the middle of February or later.
Right? So it's an investment, not so much monetarily speaking, but in your time, right? But think about coaches that are willing to do that, the quality of coaching they're going to be able to provide your son or daughter. We want that for them, so we're going to pay for them to do it if they'll take the time. And then the last thing is the academy training. Any RecPlus coach, we've incentivized it so that if they come to at least 80% of academy trainings, we'll give them another $25 back. So essentially, the value here, depending on what level of coach you are, we're going to give you anywhere from $150 to $175 back against the cost of your son or sons or daughters' registration fees. So the more you invest in the club, the more we're going to reinvest in you. So it's a win-win for everybody. Us, them, and your kids who are being coached by them. Because we do have coaches, like I said, in the club that don't have kids here, the way we decided to monetize it for them is we're going to give them a whole bunch of cool new swag, right? And I'll show you some of the stuff that's going to be available for you guys. It's pretty sweet. In addition to this, Noblesville United, we've completely rebuilt our referee program. So in case some of you didn't know, a year ago this spring, our referee assigner, the person who's responsible for assigning referees for all of our matches, he quit 2 weeks before our tournament. So we were 2 weeks left into spring season and 2 weeks before our tournament time and had nobody to assign referees to our matches. We could have folded at that point and said, what are we going to do? But we decided, nope, we're going to make this a positive. So we started right then and there, reaching out to Indiana Soccer, Chris Garlinger, who is still here. He's like, I'm going to get my referee mentorship, my referee assigner license. Well, he stepped up right away and was willing to become a certified club assigner. He stepped into that role for us so that we could start getting referees assigned to our matches, right? We then started to develop and partnered with Indiana Soccer to host small-sided academy classes or small-sided referee classes for our club. So we've had 5 small-sided classes within roughly the last year at Noblesville United that we've hosted, and we've certified over 100 small-sided referees. That's huge. I don't know if you guys realize what the national shortage is right now for referees, not just in the state of Indiana, but nationally. I was talking, well actually you were talking to a different coach at Hoosier FC, and I was talking to a coach. The coach you were speaking with
said they almost had no matches with the referee at their match. 97% of our matches last fall had a complete crew of referees.
97% of our matches had a crew.
We always had at least one center, and usually a center and an AR, and sometimes a parent stepped in on it on the other 3% of our games. We did great.
So we took what could have been a really big negative and made it into a huge positive. You know, you go to any sporting event, if you don't have a referee or an umpire, things can get really bad really fast, right? And we didn't want that for our club. So yeah, over 97% match rate coverage last season. And guess what? Beyond that, because there's such shortages, Indiana Soccer offers a program called Guardians of the Game. So let's say you do show up to one of your games, your kids' games, and there's a center, but one of the ARs doesn't show up. If you have your Guardians of the Game certification, which is literally like a 20-minute course you can take online through Indiana Soccer's website, you will get a Guardians of the Games badge, and you will allow to officially AR 1 or 2, but it would most likely be an AR2, your son or daughter's match, so that there's somebody running along the side and can help call out of bounds, help the center referee out. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go to Indiana Soccer's website and get that certification and become a guardian of the game. For those of you that don't know, in addition to some of the big changes we made last season to the referee program, we implemented a zero tolerance policy. You guys have probably been there before where mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, they're just really laying into that referee or that umpire, right? We don't tolerate that at all, right? We have kids because, again, the need is so great for referees. My daughter, for example, she's 12 years old. She got certified so that she could ref matches. She loves it. Now, she, for lack of a better word, is bossy. She calls them tight. So she'll go right up, she's 12. She'll actually be 13 in a month. She'll go right up to those coaches before the match and say, Coach, I'm going to call it tight. I'm going to be looking for offsides. No extensions on the arms, ladies or young men. I mean, she really gets after it. If you know Camille, you know, right? You know, so point being though is there's not everybody's as assertive as her in that regard. There are some young kids out there that are doing this because they love soccer, and it's great money. You can make $25-30 for one match as a 12-year-old kid. Are you kidding me? You know, she pays. Probably should say she pays her own cell phone bill now, and I love it. I'm like, give me that money, right? So you know, she'll come out with Anna or Jenna or Boots or Neve, and they'll spend 3-4 hours out at the club. We'll feed them snacks. They get to hang out in it's the boardroom. We call it the ref room because it's cool to hang out in, right? Feed them, and then they're making like $100-150 in a day, right? And they want to be there anyway, right? You guys remember hanging out at the fields when you were little, eating what were those drinks, the suicides, where you mixed all the drinks together, and you guys know what I'm talking about, right? They love doing that. So the zero tolerance policy is for your benefit, but mostly theirs, because we're not going to put up with anything. If you're bad-mouthing a ref or saying, oh, that's not the right call, that's fine if they mess up. Most of these kids, like I said, they're 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, right? But at least we have referees, right? And they are trained, they take courses, they know what they're doing, they're going to make mistakes. Show me somebody that hasn't made a mistake, right? Especially at 12. Yeah?
What age can they start?
12.
12?
12 for small side. And that's like online module, and then in-course things that we host them all the time at the club. And then you have to be at least 13 to do a full side. 11-11 match.
I want to add real quick, the reason why this is so important to us, as you can kind of tell and hear, many of these referees are our kids, right? There are players from our club refereeing. So if your kid's younger right now, we want to help coaches develop, we want to help referees develop, and we want to help you as parents develop inside soccer and find your niche in your space. That's why we do this. So really we're telling you, don't treat our kids and our players badly by yelling at them. Really, because they're our kids and our players that we're working with all the time.
Yeah. And we'll have people that will be walking the facility. You know, some referees are cool, they'll just let it slide off, won't say anything, but if somebody on the board or a staff member or our referee mentor sees somebody, right, we're going to escort you to your car, we're going to watch you pull out of the parking lot, and you'll have a one-match suspension and won't be welcome back. And then if we find out you do come back, well, then I'll just keep tagging on to the end of that, right? So it's zero tolerance, right? We just don't want anything like that happening at the club. This particular young man, his name's Andrew Gano. We're actively recruiting him to be our referee, assigner, mentor. So if you happen to see him around, be like, hey man, you're pretty cool. I heard you were wanting that gig at Noblesville United. So like I said, we're actively recruiting him. And so you may see him. He's reffed several matches out of the club, particularly the adult league matches. Great young man. He knows the laws of the game very well. And so he's right now our key candidate. So just wanted you to be able to put a face to the name. You may see him walking around. And if you do, say hello, right? Quickly, Rec versus RecPlus. How many know there's a difference? Show of hands. Okay, so we have tons of new families at our club, right? And so they come to Noblesville United and they, oh, recreational club, cool, and they just sign up for rec. Noblesville, we actually offer 2 levels of soccer. Recreational, which is your introductory, your son or daughter loves to play for fun and they're new to the game, they haven't mastered any of the skills yet. And then we have RecPlus, which is for those players that are considered, you know, the top percentile of players for their age group amongst their peers. It's a little bit more advanced level of soccer. The competition is greater. There's a little bit more commitment. 2 practices a week. You travel just a little bit versus across Fishers, sometimes Fordsville, to play the Indy Premier teams and whatnot. But just so you know, we're trying to educate. See, we have so many new families. We offer 2 levels of soccer. So if you think your son or daughter is exceptional or approaching exceptional, and you want more of a challenge than just rec, make sure that they're attending evaluations before the start of each season so that we can determine, oh yeah, so-and-so, I would definitely recommend them for RecPlus. We had one yesterday at Sogility, one of our new partners. We had 30 kids show up at the U10 level. Some good quality soccer. All these kids played rec last season, and some of them definitely should have been playing RecPlus. And in the U12, I think we had like 16, maybe 12 or something like that. But there were some good soccer players that, you know, in hindsight, after I heard stories about them, like, oh yeah, you definitely should be playing RecPlus. So just know there are options. And these are some of those photos actually from that eval yesterday. The top left are our 10s, the right are our U12 boys, and then that was a huddle, I think, during one of the 3-a-side with me and some of the 10s boys. Has everybody heard about Sogility? Do you guys know what Sogility is? You know what Sogility is. I saw you yesterday. Okay, so Sogility is a soccer complex just on the other side of 31. We developed a club partnership with them just about a year ago. If you want your son or daughter to have extra touches on the ball, get extra practices in, especially in these winter months, they offer camps, clinics, tutorials, and sessions all year round. The facility is phenomenal, as some of you guys will attest to who have been there. It's such a fun place to be. The term gamification has become huge in youth sports, trying to make a game within the game. And they do a great job of doing that. And the technology they have that you'll have access to as a parent if you bring your kid there is just awesome. They make it really fun to get really good at soccer. We have a link on our website that will direct you through to a purchase that you can make through Sogility. You get, as partners, we get 10% off any purchases, and you get like 4 sessions for like $99. Personally, I just think it's a great investment for the quality that you get when training there. So, adult leagues, if you're interested, we do offer those too. It's $90. You get to play 6 games. That comes with a dry fit jersey. We have spring and fall, and those matches occur on Sunday evenings. No practices, right? You're sore enough after 1 game, you need the whole week to recover, right? Right? And then in the summer, we're going to go back to our roots, having spoken to so many adult league players for years and years and years. They played Monday evenings. So in the summer, we're going to go back to Monday evenings, and then apparently everybody likes to go to Wolfie's afterwards. That's my plug.
But keep the alcohol at the Wolfies.
Yeah, but keep the alcohol at Wolfie's. No alcohol on premise. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yes, so that's a great clarification question. So last fall, we started at the U14, which is the 7th and 8th grade level, we started a rec program. And we did that in partnership with Mud Sox Youth Sports and Fishers and Carmel Dads Club in Carmel. And so they have rec league teams at that age, and we created rec league teams at that age. Well, long story short, the season, because it was the inaugural season, has you know, a lot of good, a lot of bad things we learned. But with the spring season being so compact, you know, 6 to 7 weeks, and we're always dealing with the weather in the spring, those partners came to me not even a month ago now and basically said, Rudy, we can't do it this spring because X, Y, Z. And I said, okay, well, the parents of our club are still expecting their 7th and 8th grade sons or daughters to be able to play soccer. So we're gonna allow them to register as a rec player and pay that fee because that's what they were expecting. I think it's $105, that price point. But we're gonna allow them to still play soccer at the RecPlus level at that much lower price point. So that they still have the option to play soccer at the price point they were expecting. So they'll do the 2 practices a week, the academy training, the team practice, and they'll still get the same number of matches. But we're honoring that rec price because it was the right thing to do.
And I just want to let you know, I've had players come in who've never played soccer before at the 7th and 8th grade. I had an 8th grader come in the spring of 8th grade year, had never played soccer, and was on a RecPlus team. We work with them, right? We help them develop. I love developing a player who doesn't know anything. It's fun, I think. So, you know, obviously they'll be behind because some of these players have been playing for a long time, but we'll work with them and we'll make sure they play 50% of the game. They get experience soccer. We'll work with them every day. It'll be an encouraging environment, and it'll be a great experience, hopefully, for them. And hopefully they love it. They can thank that girl. She's now plays in the high school league against the high school boys. Like, she stayed with it, right? She loved it, even though she did not do soccer till spring of her 8th grade year.
Yeah, so there's always a diamond in the rough that doesn't get started until late, and then that's the whole point of this, to foster a love for this game, right? Something that they can do that we offer all the way through high school, and then adult leagues once they're 19 and 20. So I put this slide in here for you, Nick. Committees and volunteers. We need volunteers, right? Concessions. Yeah, we have a fully operational concession stand, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but Nick, I believe you're planning on doing some more stuff this year than we did last year?
Well, I just finished a sign-up Genius like 2 minutes ago. So that will be in the next newsletter for them to start signing up for. We're volunteering 2-hour shifts throughout the entire season, which you get your...
If you do a 2-hour shift, $25 back off the cost of a registration. And we do the sign-up Genius, so you can pick the day and time that works best for you. We're not gonna assign you a time, right?
We did hire a young lady to be our manager this year, so that we don't have to be out there every 5 minutes, and she's going to help manage the volunteers. A young 17-year-old girl that played at our club. Her sister's currently on Rudy's team and Eric's team. We're excited about bringing her on again this year. So you'll have somebody there that's got a lot of training. After the first week, she'll have a lot of training. She's excited. She's got a good personality. She should greet you like I do at the concession stand, with full of energy and help you spend your money. Because we will take that money and put it back into the concession. We just bought a new popcorn machine on Friday, so we can cook a little bit faster there. Our intent is hopefully by middle season to have some warm food for you, which in hot dogs, we're going to have some food trucks as well. But we are continuing to grow that area of the concessions. And like I put it already, next week is our work weekend. I'm spearheading that, so if you are signed up, be ready to work. We've got 20 volunteers.
Already 20 people have signed up, yep.
You work with me, we'll do the bathrooms. You'll clean the bathrooms.
Yeah, he's in charge of cleaning.
So you want it back, and you can work with me.
But, you know, the object is to clean the goals, put the nets on, put them in their places, clean the facility. We've added a back net on field 18. Ryan's not here, is he?
No.
But we added field 18, we'll have a backdrop so we can have 3 big fields. So we've got a lot of great things. Mark and his wife are on the committee, Sarah's on the committee, wink wink, to help out with the concession. So definitely want to encourage you to be there.
So yeah, so if you take anything away from this is volunteers are necessary to make things work, right? And we use the term volunteer, but we're still gonna incentivize that a little bit and give you that money back. Now, if you don't want the money, just tell me and we won't credit it back, right? But concessions, facility help. Next week's our work day, which we have to sign up at the table for. Coaches. So our numbers, I checked this morning, we were at 98% against the fall for registration. So, and we still have a couple more days left, and I know some coaches can't commit to every season, so I know for a fact we have holes to fill. So you definitely, as a club, will be getting an email from me saying, hey, I need 11 coaches still, and these are the breakdowns for the age groups. So if you want to give back to the club in that way, we definitely are always short and need coaches, but just so you know, we'll invest in you so you don't feel like we're just throwing you to the wolves.
So, and I'll run a new coaches training next Sunday, so if you do decide today you want to coach and we need you, and you can get it done, by next Sunday at 1 o'clock at our club, I will run a new coaches training for you. So you will absolutely get an hour and a half of further instructional coaching.
So we have some sponsorship deals, and Nick, I threw the slide up there with your big signage. But if you happen to be blessed with lots of money, go see Nick. So we're going to have signage up around the fields for companies, organizations that want to display their logos and branding. And with that, you're basically going to, we would ask you to sign an agreement like, hey, we'll display your company's logo up here for a full year for X number of dollars. And the tiers are something like $1,000, $1,500, and $2,500. And then that would dictate how long your company's sponsorship or logo would be placed on the facility. But I can tell you guys, with the number of children we have playing, and then the teams that we have coming over to us from other clubs, on any given weekend you could have exposure to 1,500 families, right? So if that's something that you might be interested in donating to club in that regard, and getting your company's logo displayed on one of this sign right here, it's going to be like 18 feet tall, I think it is, right? And the signage, how big are the signs?
They're 18 by 24.
18 by 24, and it's like that hard metal cut stuff, so it'll last the term of the contract that you might want to.
Between parking lot 1 and 2, so when they
Yeah.
cross in there, we'll have some on the side, some on the side.
Yeah, so it'll be highly visible to all traffic in and out of the facility.
The idea is to buy new goals, buy new nets, golf carts for us.
Yeah.
We're taking that money, putting it right back into the soccer club.
Yeah,
We
so-
are for not-for-profit, so we want to spend all that profit on the kids.
Yeah, so yeah, just so everybody knows, we are a 501c not-for-profit, right? So every single dollar that you guys paid for registration, it all goes right back into the club, paying for lights, paying for new nets, new goals, and those are things that a lot of those cycles are coming up on now. So to make things look really nice, we got to get new goals. We got to invest in new nets so they look nice and shiny and white. Okay, so now to the fun stuff. This is the stuff that I've been kind of geeked about announcing and making sure everybody knew what was coming, right? Looking at you, Matt. Community service, we talked about that, but we value our community, so please, if you can, in any way, donate some of your time. We want to invest in our community, so as of this spring, and I've got some of the information up here, and then we'll have information, but we are partnering with feedingteam.org here in Noblesville. We are going to do a food drive this spring. It'll be a competition. Our goal is to raise 1,000 food items. And their most needed items are there listed. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of the feedingteam.org food bins around the community. They feed, I think, 10,000 meals a week was the last conversation I had. So we all know how expensive food is these days, right? Now, we're fortunate enough to live here, most of us anyway, in Hamilton County. Like, sometimes I don't think we realize how good we have it. We live in a bubble, right? So for us to be able to help members of our own community provide meals for families, it's very important to me, and it's very important for us, I think, as a club, to know that as an organization, we're supporting our community. So the goal is to start 1,000 food items. I donated a can of Chunky's chicken noodle soup, and I put it in our closet at feedingteam.org's location. I took a picture. They're going to keep that room for us until the food drive is over. We're going to do it for a month, and at the end, we're going to take another photo, and I'll send a before and after, right? So this is a goal for us, so that our young men and women, our sons and daughters realize, like, we're doing this to help our community, okay? We talked to the coaches about this. The team that donates the most food items will be incentivized. Now, what that looks like will be different, because I said this earlier, if it's a U6 team, they're gonna love a pizza party. Now, if one of the high school teams wins it, they're not gonna wanna have pizza with Coach Rudy. So, what that incentivization looks like will vary depending on the team that ends up winning, donating the most in this food drive. But I just want you guys to know there's a purpose behind this, and we are going to get fully engaged as a club in our community. So the spring will be a food drive. In the fall, you know all those houses that we're always annoying by kicking our soccer balls into their backyard? We are going to go door to door and meet all of our neighbors, and we are going to just simply offer to clean up their yards, rake their leaves. We have a lot of older families that live on that road, and what better way to get our soccer balls back than to say, hey, I'm so-and-so, we're here, we want to be a part of your life, and would like our soccer balls back. Can we help you in some regard? Whether this is wash your windows, wash your car, power wash the side of your home. We'll get mobile teams together. We'll have trailers going up and down the road with equipment, and we're going to help these people out, right? We want to do what we can to serve our community, okay? That'll be the fall, because that's when the leaves fall, so I thought that'd be cool. Boys and Girls Club, a couple weeks ago, we did a free clinic. It was 60 to 90 minutes. We had like over 30 kids sign up. Under 30 showed up. It was a cold Friday night. But of the 20-something kids that came that night to the free soccer clinic, we last time I checked, we had 16 of those families registered to play soccer at Noblesville United that had never played before, right? And this was a free clinic, so it was great getting to know these families. If you guys know me, you know I love talking. I love just engaging in people and making them feel valued. And so I really love getting to know these families and letting them know that they were absolutely 100% welcome to our club. And again, 16 new boys or girls are going to get to learn to play soccer. So I thought it was absolutely awesome. Spectator scenario 2. You ready? While watching your son or daughter's soccer match, you notice that Coach Rudy looks a little hungry. What do you do?
What is this?
I'm going to tell you what you do. If it's an early match, I prefer coffee and donuts or mini muffins from the concession stand. If it's a midday or afternoon match, I'm particularly fond of the nachos and cheese, and I'll take a Mr. Pibb to drink. Now you know, okay? Make sure you write that down.
And we are accepting our partnership with Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I actually have that on here. I didn't have that on the coach's one, but it's on this one. Nachos and Pibb, okay?
What does your daughter like to eat?
Everything. So, personal story, I'll make this super short. My daughter went to a birthday party last night. She woke up, Dad, my tummy hurts. She's 12. She came, Dad, my stomach's upset. I'm like, well, what'd you have at Kalina's birthday party? Brownie, 3 frosted cookies, a half of a sheet of ice cream cake, and 2 pieces of pizza. And I was like, is that all? No, but, and I was like, sweetie, you gotta start making better choices. Right? And then we had an 11 o'clock match. And it was a rough night.
And she still stopped a lot of goals.
She did stop a lot of goals, but bless her. Okay, so this is some really big news. Okay, I've been holding this back. I'm very pleased and excited, super beyond excited, to announce some new partnerships that our club has in place. As of this fall, we got to get through this cycle, spring cycle. But as of this fall, Noblesville United will officially be club partner, corporate partners with the Indy 11 Soccer Club. The big
Who
deal.
tied last night?
Huh?
Stoppage time.
Stoppage time, PK, they tie you.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they'll take it.
Yeah.
What?
So,
And they saved the PK.
And they did, that's right.
so I don't know about how ingrained many of you are in the soccer community, but there's no other organization, rec or what have you, locally, that has a corporate partnership right now with the Indy 11. We're the first, okay? And what's really cool about this is not only they're going to invest in the club monetarily, they're going to invest in the club in a couple other means, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Starting this summer, Indy 11 will be coming to Noblesville United to host 2 youth summer camps. One the 3rd week of June and one the 3rd week of July. They will have fully staffed people coming up from the organization. If they need any of our coaches, we'll supplement it. And in speaking with the Director of Youth Development and Camps there, they are going to try and work on getting some of the Indy 11 players to come up for appearances, as well as some of the W League players, the Women's League players, okay? So this is really cool, because not only are these kids, our kids, gonna get to engage in an Indy 11 style soccer camp, but there's the possibility they're gonna get to meet some of the players, all right? In addition to, you can see the cost up there. I think you can see it's listed at $130. Typically, these camps cost $250. If you go attend the same camp that they're hosting at Grand Park, it's $250, right? So we got them to come down on their price point. Well, because I told them they had to, or we wouldn't do it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, but here's the cool thing about this. Your kid signs up for this 4-day camp that'll be at our club. They're gonna get a t-shirt. They're gonna get 2 tickets to an Indy 11 game. And if I let it happen, they're gonna get us Indy 11 soccer ball. I'm iffy about that because it has a Puma logo on it, so we'll see. Okay, I'm also very happy to announce that as of the fall of 23, Noblesville United, we will be officially corporate sponsors with soccer.com. If you guys don't know, they're the largest online national retailer for soccer retail, clothing, attire, equipment, what have you. This move is a little bittersweet, I have to be honest, because we've been partnered with TNT Promotions for quite some time now, here a local-based business, but we gave them every opportunity to match or beat the price points, and I guess you could say the perks that this company is willing to offer us, and frankly, it wasn't even close. So we were thinking about our families, our club, the future, something that will be stable, you know, for even when my time here is come and gone, Eric, whomever, we want to be able to build something that's sustainable for long term for whoever backfills our positions. And soccer.com offered that. The terms of the agreements are fully up to us. Right now, we're pretty much going to land somewhere on a 4-year deal. So the investments that you'll make for some of the kits, you'll be able to use those for 4 years as opposed to the 2-year cycle that we're currently on, right? So there's more longevity. But beyond that, and I'll show you, stuff is awesome. So one of our other corporate sponsors, we just switched over to Coca-Cola. So you guys have been coming up to the thing. We've had Pepsi stuff, Coke stuff, you know, we were stocking it all, but Nick worked out a deal with the Mr. Pizzini. I just like to call him Mr. Pizzini because the name sounds so cool. But they had, you know, conversations and it built up and it became something more. And so now Coca-Cola, they just brought us out brand new coolers for the concession stand. We got one in the boardroom for the referees and for us, let's be honest, right? So we'll have all new equipment and concessions that's been provided by Coke, and then they will constantly be restocking our supply rather than us volunteers having to go buy it at Costco or wherever.
And they're also donating some money to us as well.
And they are donating the signage I showed you guys. We're going to put their logo up. They're making a monetary investment into the club, giving us some money as well. So great things from them. So without further ado, I want to go back to the soccer.com thing. So starting in the fall of 23, Noblesville United, we will be an Adidas affiliated club, and we will be wearing from the fall of 23 through it. Right now, it seems like the next 4 years, we will be wearing the Adidas Tabella kit. This is what it's going to look like.
No,
Psych. Tricked you.
not quite yet.
Not yet. That was an intentional cliffhanger. I see Matt sitting on the end of the seat over there. Sorry. So one of the great things about this vendor is that you guys will have access to them 365 days a year. It's a super mobile friendly site. you'll be able to order anything you need, club affiliated or apparel otherwise, from the palm of your hand on your phone. They will deliver to your doorstep. If your orders are $100 or more, it's free delivery. The perks in the rewards programs that they're offering us are unparalleled. This is something that no other vendor was willing to do or even have a conversation about. Long story short, if based on current projections and numbers, we have roughly 900 kids that'll be playing soccer. If every one of those kids buy the kits, as would be required anyway, right? We're looking at soccer.com will be investing somewhere between $8,000 and $9,000 back into the club. All of that money will then be reinvested into the club. There are families, young men and women, that are on scholarships that can't pay for registrations or their kits. We will buy their kits for them and give them to them. Our coaches, we want them to look good, right? And as parents, you want to be able to say, hey, I'm proud of my organization, and I can tell that's a coach. We want to invest in our coaches and be able to buy them swag, whether that's a polo, a zip-up jacket, a hoodie. They're going to have access, as will all of you, to a full online retail store that will have our branding on it and associated to it, and you can have really your pick of whatever is available in the club shop. Again, this just kind of breaks down some of the different kickbacks that will be received, the brand promo support, anything you order with our stuff on it, anything Adidas you order, we get a kickback for, all kinds of kickbacks. Soccer.com even has a retail promo fee that they give us back, so like 10% off of purchases, they give us that 10% back into our, I'll just call it like our savings account that they create for us. And all that money, we're just gonna spend it right back on the kids and the coaches. Could be new goals, we can buy goals online. Anything we need that's gonna be for the club, it's all gonna be for the club.
Can I just add, it simplifies, we're doing a lot of different things with different vendors. We can now go to one place and be like, here's where we're getting our goals and our cones and our pennies and our uniforms. Because all turn, one day our time as volunteers is gonna be done, and the next thing will come in, it'll be way easier for them to step in, instead of taking relationships with like 10 different companies to make everything functionally work. So it simplifies.
Yeah, no more U6, U8 link, U10 and above link, you know, lots of questions, grays, yellows, paginated black and gold. We're gonna have one uniform kit, unintended, all the way from U6 all the way through high school. So everybody will wear the same home and aways. What we will not require is for the younger kids, the 6s and the 8s, they don't have to buy the shorts and the socks, but that will be required for everyone U10 and above. So, now without further ado. So these are the Tabella 23 kits. They'll have the Noblesville United patch on the left chest. The Honda logo, who is one of our partnered corporate sponsors with Indy 11, will have their main primary logo on the stomach or the chest or whatever you want to call it. And it's hard to tell from this perspective, but on the right sleeve is the Indy 11 logo. All of the shorts will have the Noblesville United patch on them, and then the black shorts, the black socks will be matched. So, crazy little nuance here, but technically speaking, like to abide by FIFA laws of the game, socks all have to be the same color, and everybody has to be wearing them. But we've kind of really gotten away from that, and sometimes we get away with it. Don't get our hands slapped by Indiana Soccer, but we did have a couple referees last season that were like, you guys are a rec club, I'm gonna let you play, but technically these guys all have to have the same socks. It's a silly little rule, but it's a rule, right? So again, to have one place for everybody to be able to go to and get what's necessary, you know, the pair of socks, they have the Adidas logo, I think they're like $6 is what the price breakdown came down to for those. So that's the black will be the home kit. The white will be the away. The neon yellow is the goalie short sleeve.
And it's gray, it's not white.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said white. It's a light gray. Sorry, it's a light gray. And then the goalie kits, again, optional, but we wanted the goalies to have something available to them as well, long sleeve. Our logo, the Honda logo, and the Indy 11 logo will be on the right shoulder. You can see the middle there is a hoodie. The jacket on the far right is actually the one I'm wearing now. And then the pants are actually the pants I'm wearing now. And then the numbers on the jerseys will be the new, the goal. the gold coloring. And those colors, obviously, we align with the Noblesville school system now, the black, the white, and the gold. So getting everything uniformed, making sure that we feel like we're a part of the community, and we look like we're part of the community. The varsity yellow was cool, but I'm glad to be moving over to the gold. Some additional swag, and these are some things we showed coaches earlier, but will be available to you guys as well. Again, all of this stuff will be available to you online to purchase for yourselves or your kids. There's one of the hoodies, the jacket, and then I've had the backpack with our logo, right? As the kids get older, like they've got the ball, they've got the goalie gloves, they've got their shin guards, they've got the shoes they're wearing, the shoes they're changing into, their slides. So I just think it's really cool to have that available to them if they want it, to be able to wear and carry all of their stuff in the one bag. And honestly, it looked cool. So this talks about the price breakdowns and the points. So I'm going to talk about why the new kits, and because the question I expected it to be asked, we did cost analysis to be 100% transparent with you guys, so we know this was the direction we moved, and this is why we did it, and here's the price point, the breakdown, and the analysis. So why new kits? Number one thing, it was cost. It came down to cost. We're saving money. The existing vendor cost for comparable offering for two shirts, a short, and a sock was actually more expensive. So again, we gave the existing vendor the opportunity to match, but it was still roughly $22 to $23 more to stick with the existing vendor. The service and tech, I showed you guys. The online shop that you'll have available to you to be able to purchase whatever you want, whenever you want, just by picking up your phone. Unparalleled rewards, all the kickbacks that we'll get for the brand promo support, the soccer.com support, etc. And again, like I said, we're planning for the future. We've stabilized the infrastructure, and so now we're trying to build on that for future seasons and future leadership. Cost analysis. So this first one here is just showing you guys exactly what the costs were when talking to our current vendor, the soccer.com, and then option C. We shopped 4 options. Those 3 were frankly the best option. The 4th option was nowhere close. It was like twice the price point, so we didn't even bother putting them on here. So these kits, the full-on kit, which is the 2 tops, the shorts, and the socks, will range in cost from $60 to $70. Okay. For the younger age groups, the 6s and 8s, you'll only be required to buy the 2 tops, so it'll be roughly $50 because the 2 tops are each like roughly $25. Like I said, the existing vendor, their price point, and these are all pre-tax, just FYI, these are just the costs. The existing vendor was $95, and then the other one was actually over $100, and then the 4th one, which I shopped and didn't put on here, was like $140, so not even close. Yes?
My wife already registered with your old vendor to get jerseys.
For this season, totally fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this isn't until the fall of 23. Yep.
All right.
So yeah, we have, this season is the last on the existing contract with that vendor. So we were already going to be doing this analysis anyway, but because where we could get in on the price points with the new vendor, it was best to get in now and lock in those costs.
Okay.
And be
Plus,
able
we
to,
were super excited. We wanted to share.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so it was just smart planning for us to make sure we were getting ahead and could lock in.
And these are for 4 years, so your kid may outgrow it. We expect there to be like a behind the scenes market where you guys are slipping and trading with your friends. Fine, right? That's the goal. So, but if your kid can't stand it for all 4 years, under $20 a year, right? Which is way better than what we did the last 2 years or stuff we did the last year.
Yeah, so current vendor, we're on 2-year cycles. So every 2 years, you're buying new stuff anyway. This one, it'll be every 4 years. So twice the amount of time and still at a lower cost. Next slide. So this was something I put together so that everybody could see just what the cost points are at our club, right? What you can expect this initial season, depending on what age group or ability level your child falls into. The average recreational registration cost is $85. RecPlus is $155. High school is $150. The kit costs the $25 volunteer fee, and then what you can expect to invest this initial season with the new kits. That's just the initial season. Now anything beyond that, your price will then go way down because after this, you're only paying for the cost of registration, right?
And if you volunteer, then you get money back on top of it.
Right?
And I want them to volunteer.
Yeah. So you'll get, again, if you volunteer, you'll get money back that'll help take away some of the cost of this. So then, because we knew we would be showing you guys these numbers because maybe you have no experience anywhere else, these jump off the page a little bit. And so we wanted to take it a step further and say, here's the cost analysis for all of the different age groups and divisions at our club versus what you would expect to pay at any other club locally here. So here's the cost analysis for registration and kits for any other local comparable clubs. So at Noblesville United, you can see the season 1 investment and then the subsequent 4-year investment per year. If, for example, you were to take your son or daughter to Blue and Yellow Club, don't know who that is, their registration fees are significantly higher, almost twice the cost. Their kit fees are the same, and actually we're beating them now for a similar offering, Adidas kit. They have the field usage fee. So their initial investments when their kids come on board and play are upwards of $367 a season per child, right? And then beyond that, because their registration fee is $270 every single season, they're already paying almost $300 every season for each kid. So if you look at what's comparable in our area versus the price points we're offering, we're still, as the data shows, we have 30% lower costs than other comparable clubs in the area. And this is information you can pull directly off of their website as far as their registration costs, their kit costs, all available to the public, 100% transparent. And I happen to, several of these people at these clubs are my colleagues, so we have open and honest conversations about these things. Subsequent seasons, Noblesville United's costs are 40% less. $103 is that breakdown on average than you would pay at any other club. That's per child per season. So if you have 2 kids playing, $200 on average a season, cheaper, right, for the subsequent. Again, we mentioned volunteer opportunities are available. So even if you've got 3 kids and you come out and work a couple hours and we bump $25 off of their registrations, you can get $50 to $75 back just by helping out at the club. Okay, I'll stop there to allow time for you guys to ask questions. Maybe there are some, maybe there aren't. So does anybody have any questions? Yeah?
The kids start in the fall.
The fall? Mm-hmm.
So what they had from last year, we can
Use this year.
So they don't have to have a shirt or socks yet.
Just black shorts and soccer socks. Everything that your kids, if they played in the fall, everything they wore in the fall, they're wearing this spring. And then that uniform cycle ends because that contract ends and we were going to be getting new uniforms anyway, but it saved all of us that much money to go with a new vendor than to stick with the existing.
Well, I just want to get in front of you and share that it's going to be a little bit more expensive in the fall, but we want to share the block. We did all the data this winter to try to make you guys aware of why it's changing. So that way we can go sign up this fall and not shop.
Yep. And so, hi, yeah. Nope. Those will be constant. And you can buy Soccer Village as a local shop where you can buy those, but it's obviously after you take the course, it's much cheaper to buy those through the link that they provide. But yeah, referee stuff will totally stay the same. Yeah. There's something I want to say. I don't remember. We definitely will do that. Any other questions? Yeah. Great question. So the way we try to structure scheduling is U6s and U8s. Well, let me take a step back. Most games we try to schedule Saturdays. We will not schedule anything on Sunday until after 1 p.m. to honor our churchgoers' schedules, right? So the earliest on Sunday would be 1, but by and large, we try to get everything scheduled on Saturday, but sometimes there are Sunday afternoon matches, and then what we try to do is no team should ever have more than 2 Sunday matches. So you'll have a majority Saturday, and then the way we structure that is the younger kids start earlier in the day before it gets super hot or whatever. So 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and then the U8s, and then the 10s, and so we try to structure it that way. Plus there's the tons of families coming in and out, so we have to space what times all of those different families are coming in.
And we're growing, so.
And we're growing, so we have to, match days typically go to 3 or 4, but if we continue to grow, right, it'll be 4, 5, 6, but everybody will get to play.
And did we talk about the tournament?
I did, yeah, the key dates. Yeah. So on the key dates, everybody remembered seeing, because we mentioned the 7th graders are on that field trip. But yeah, make sure you know when the tournament dates are.
10th graders are on the first quarter.
5th graders are too.
At least in Noblesville.
Okay.
So we'll have to look at that and maybe, there's no great plan here with the holiday and the short season. So we'll
Yeah,
have
the
to look
spring
at that.
season's always super tough because
Yeah,
you're
maybe that division plays a little bit of different schedule.
Yeah.
Everyone else plays the other one.
Super
Could be
tough.
Something like that.
weather, Easter breaks. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
What time is the volunteer on Saturday?
So we will start at 9 a.m. and we will go until you want to leave. But there will be a key group of us that'll be there the whole time. Like I will show up, and then actually my boys' 10s, we have a match at like noon. So I have to leave for like an hour and a half, but then I'm coming back. Good question. Anybody else? Yeah, Matt.
Does the Guardians of the Game have a renewal process, or is it a one-time thing?
I think it's just a
I think
one-time
a
thing.
one-time thing.
Yeah.
And then if you order shin guards or cleats from
Mhm.
soccer.com, is there a way to earn money for the club that way?
Yep.
Or is it just on?
Once they create our Noblesville team portal, everything you buy through that portal will give us a kickback. And if it's shin guards, which are, depending on the quality, 15 to 30, 40 bucks, we'll get $1 to $2, whatever the percentage, the math breaks up.
And we expect that to be late March, early April for that to open up.
Yeah, so I have to work with that vendor now to start building that team shop. But we want to make sure that's available for families this season so that everything is ready to go by the fall. You don't want to wait till, because like some people, they won't register their kids till like the last day. You don't want to sign up the last day and then buy your kids the last day, because then they won't be guaranteed to be here in time for the season. So it's also a great way for us to be able to project, oh, well, we've already got X number of kits ordered, so we know that we can expect registrations to be in this range as well.
Rudy, you want to talk about rostering real quick? Just real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, just about like what the timeline is on that. Everything.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
registration closes Wednesday. We talked about this. What we're going to try to do, our next club board meeting is next Sunday. So we're going to, most of us, I think everybody said yes so far. We're going to have probably 30, 45 minutes of that first part of the board meeting, to have the board meeting, talk about some things. And then we're going to lock ourselves in that room for the next several hours to get rosters done. So that we can reach out to you guys. The ideal plan would be to have all that done and communicated to you guys before you even go on spring break. So you can go on spring break and not worry about like, man, I wonder who my coach is, or wonder what team I'm on. Now, if your kids played in the fall, they're going to be on the same team as they were in the fall this spring. But we want to try to get as much of the work done as soon as possible so people can just spend the next couple weeks relaxing until they know they need to be at the first practice April 10th, if that's the night your team happens to practice on. Yeah, thanks for mentioning it. Questions?
One in the back.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
Have you changed the tournament this year?
Yeah, so 6s and 8s won't officially play a tournament. They'll just have one more game that day so they can experience the tournament-like feel, right? Because we'll have vendors, concessions will be there. We'll try to have food trucks. I know Nothing Bunt Cakes has already reached out, like saying we're going to be there. I love some bunt cakes. So yeah. So no change to the 6s and 8s. It'll still be a standard match. And then for 10s, 12s, and up, tournament Thursday, Friday, all day Saturday for the rec tournament. Yeah. Yeah, Matt.
Will the RecPlus schedule be more at our facilities? It's like we're doing all this great stuff there, but I feel like the RecPlus don't get to experience that.
So that's a conversation. Okay, so my counterpart at Indy Premier is a gentleman by the name of Craig Woodfill. He's a nice guy, and I think relations have come a long way since we all I mean, we're all new, really, within the last year on the board. A lot of matches that our young men and women were playing against Indy Premier just seemed to be always at their facilities, right? Part of that went back to the whole referee issue that occurred last spring where our guy quit on us, so they didn't feel comfortable sending their teams over here if we didn't have a ref assigner where they were, ensured that we would have quality referees doing our matches. So for the last season, we spent a lot of time going to their locations. I had a conversation with Craig. He knows the work we've been doing, particularly at the small side, and he's agreed to for sure send more 10s and 12s matches to our facilities. We're still working on everything else, which is what impacts us, right? The full side stuff. We have a fantastic facility. We have 3 full side fields now. We absolutely could host those matches, so we just got to get them to budget a little bit. Yep. Yes?
Does reffing start at a certain age group?
12.
And the age group starts at U10.
Oh,
And then
for
you
the
can
games,
start to
I'm sorry.
ref when you're 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what yours. Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, U10s, 77 will have 1 referee, a center. U12 will have a center and an AR, 2 ARs. And then that's the case for everything above, right? If there's full coverage for everything 12 and above, there's a center and 2 ARs. U10 has 1, no referees for U6 or U8. Good question. Any other questions? Okay.
Just thank you. We appreciate you coming
Yeah,
out.
thank you so much. Hey, on the way out, guys, is if you do want to volunteer on the field day next weekend, the work day, scan that QR code. And then there's a QR code back there, too, for our Dick's Savings Day. You get